Oh, morning if you're coughing like I am. No, I am.
Schedules on your...
I am keeping up with the most modern list, Councillor Scott.
I put one out this morning, yeah.
No, there's been lines. There's lines through them all day. People have pull out. The number is...
So this is part 3, and it's page I3.
Welcome.
Thank you.
So we've got 10 minutes.
Yes.
And
I won't take up 10 minutes.
we would appreciate it if you would wish us to ask you some questions. We need to do it within the 10 minutes.
Of course, no
So
problem
that's
at
great.
all.
Thank you.
Firstly, good afternoon everyone, and thank you so much for the opportunity to speak to my submission today. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Zoe Barnes and I am manager of Napier City Business Inc., which was formerly Napier Inner City Marketing. We are an incorporated society that represents the interests of upwards of 350 businesses in Napier's central business district. As mentioned in my submission, my role sees me working alongside several different organisations within Hawke's Bay, and I'm very much of the United We Stand type mindset. And as such, I have had the pleasure of working with Annie and her team on several occasions in the last 10 months that I've been in my role, the largest of which was the Cricket World Cup project. When I ask my members what they think the key is to improved business in Napier, the answer is simple and it's the same, and it's more people. And whether that's more locals shopping more regularly or more tourists shopping more regularly, either is both good. Now, getting locals to shop more regularly is a very hard nut to crack, and it's something that we work on continuously. But I think that getting more tourists down here is more achievable, I guess, in the long run. Just a bit of background on me. I used to live in Auckland for about 10 years, and it always just flabbergasted me the amount of people I met who had never come to Hawke's Bay. And I just didn't really ever get why that was. I think we're the perfect holiday spot. And for some reason, Hawke's Bay just wasn't top of mind for people thinking of going on a holiday. And that could be because we're not on the way to anywhere. We're sort of off the beaten path a wee bit. But I think the reality is that there's just a lack of awareness, really. Of course, they know that we're here, but I don't really think they know who we are or what we are. And it's this concept within the Hawke's Bay tourism submission that I support. That's the 4 seasonal campaign. In this day and age of over promotion of everything and anything, I just think at the moment our efforts aren't cutting the mustard. From what I can see, and Annie and her team have done a tremendous job with the resources that they've had available to them, but we really do need to step up the plate and provide a comprehensive marketing strategy. And from what I can see, that's what they've outlined in their submission. The $800,000 spent in this area will put us in good stead to achieve the forecasted $1 billion in 2025. Now, obviously, that's 10 years away, quite some time away, so it's a long-term view, but I think we need to start on this road now because it's only going to get harder. Napier CBD relies heavily on the tourist dollar, and we're quite limited for activity without it. Already in this economic climate, we are struggling, and you can see that by walking down Everson Street West. Local retailers and hospitality business owners and accommodation providers, they rely on the steady stream of tourists coming into the area, and they very much see the effect on the bottom dollar when we get to the winter months. The seasonal campaign suggested allows these businesses, allows us, I guess, to go out to market to regularly with new messages to encourage visitation into the area on the off months, I guess. And it shows that we are more than Art Deco and wine. although we definitely love Art Deco and wine. The campaign structure also allows for nimbleness in the local businesses and provides them with loads of different angles throughout the week that they can that they can align themselves with and ride on the coattails really of the wider out of region spend. Most retailers in Napier and probably most in Hawke's Bay are unable to fund advertising outside of the region, and they may not even be able to provide their own website. So for all intents and purposes of people outside of the region, they're invisible. It is this association with Hawke's Bay Tourism, by featuring on their website or being part of one of their stories or one of their events, that they get visibility and relevancy. In terms of the synergies between Hawke's Bay Tourism and Napier City Business, it's a bit of a tag team situation. I kind of see it as they get the attention of the visitor outside of the region, draw them here, and then it's up to us to make it an engaging and exciting experience for the tourists once they're here. And then hopefully it is a good enough experience that they then come back and back and back. But we rely on that tourist dollar to be able to do the activity. So without it, it's potentially not going to be such an exciting experience. So they might not come back, and it just goes on and on and on. I honestly think Napier has huge potential to be, it is a fantastic tourist experience, but businesses in Napier can't deliver that message outside of Hawke's Bay without Hawke's Bay Tourism. And I think they cannot compete with other regions without an increase in funding. Any questions?
Excuse me, peering in there. Councillor Bell.
We've just been given some numbers which I guess you wouldn't be privy to at the moment that indicate if we were to give the $900,000 that's been requested, the increase in commercial rates in Napier would go from 4 or 5%, there are two different numbers here, to 22 to 31%.
I have those.
So have your businesses that you're representing contemplated that they would be happy with a 21 or 30% increase in their rates?
Well, I don't. That is obviously significant, and I would say they're probably not aware of how large that contribution would be. I do feel that Napier businesses are at a bit of a tipping point at the moment, and that they are more open than ever to trying to facilitate a better CBD. And when we look at the dollar value, I mean, obviously it will be different, but in different businesses. But we need to do something at this point. So, I mean, it's never going to be, everyone's not going to agree on it, but it's like a case of one size fits most, I guess, situation.
Do you have any idea what the tourists, and I mean people outside Hawke's Bay, what their percentage of spend would be in Napier inner city?
In the inner city? No, I have no idea.
You thought it was substantial?
The tourist dollar we see, it's more of an indicative number from my members. They see a significant drop-off when the tourists stop coming.
Councillor Scott.
One question is partly answered, and one was how do businesses that, such as the retail, that you've said so plainly depend on that tourism dollar as a significant part, step up and pay their share of a targeted rate? You would see that being a targeted rate would be a fair way of doing it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And my second one was, what about Destination Hawke's Bay, Destination Napier? Would you?
Hawke's Bay Tourism, I find it easy to fall behind Hawke's Bay Tourism because they have such a significant reach already. And just in terms of online, which is effectively where everyone goes for these sorts of things these days, your best bet is Hawke's Bay Tourism. If you Google anything in Hawke's Bay, they're the first one that comes up. So they've already got a significant share of traffic. So you may as well make the most of that one.
One quick one. There being none, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And thank you for your presentation, and it's very good to have you here in person to give us a bit more depth to your submission, and we will be in touch in the very near future, so thank you.
Thank you.
Right, I will adjourn for 10 minutes. I think afternoon tea, or I said morning tea before. I might go and have morning tea. The rest of you can have afternoon tea. Is ready. 10 minutes, we're back. We've got 2 more submitters and a little bit more deliberating to do, and I would hope we could wrap it up reasonably quickly after afternoon tea. So thank you.